we're going live. Yeah?
Yeah?
It is time. Oh, well, welcome back. You're in the hot seat tonight.
Blanks yeah. Right? Is that how it was?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We live. Yes. We have Mr. InnerDeviant with us. Welcome to the show, good sir.
Long-time viewer, first-time caller.
Hi, guys. Long-time listener.
Definitely true.
First-time caller. So we're happy to have you aboard. We're going to be chatting about Navajo Nation tonight, which will be a fun topic, but we've got some stuff to cover.
Oh, a lot of stuff. This is a busy week.
This was a busy week. Mr. Blanks, go ahead. What do you got?
Well, we're going to say off two names. I want everybody to tell me which ones they recognize. Prince Philip and DMX.
Both. I recognize both of them.
You're one of the few. I have told a couple people, I actually found out Prince Philip died before DMX died. And then I was crushed. And then, my roommate totally called it earlier today. He's like, all the wannabe DMX fans are all coming out. Your son is here. Number one fan.
Hey,
Beans,
what's up, Beans?
Did I say Blanks? Wow.
Yeah, you said Blanks, but that's Beans. Hey, Beans, welcome to the show.
Well, you said my sons.
Yes, hype it. Yes, every time.
I'm gonna give InnerDeviant number 2. Solid number 2.
Yeah, man, you're jumping in here. You're actually so I forgot you have your own Twitch channel, and that's how. So I started listening to you. Tell us a little bit about your Twitch channel. Pump yourself up. Oh, we got Fake Blake jumping in. Hello, everybody. Mr. InnerDeviant, tell us about your Twitch channel.
I usually just play guitar on there. I'll do backing tracks. Every once in a while, I'll do a cover, but mainly I'll just like pick up random backing tracks on YouTube. I'll just play along to them. And so a lot of improvisation with that. So none of it's rehearsed. It just kind of just run through everything. But some of them I've played over them several times, so I kind of have an idea what's going on with them. But usually, I don't think the 2 songs that I play on there from like 2 different sessions is going to be the same thing.
Yeah, there's quite a range of style. There's all sorts of different backing tracks you do. I really enjoyed coming in the other day when I think you were doing that E minor metal track.
Oh yeah,
the really really power chordy riff one, and I was sitting there like, yes, it was awesome. So
Fattie plays along with you. I'm throwing him out fucking out
I
the
do
bus
it.
right
I
now.
suck. I suck, but I do it.
He's like, I got lead. Check this shit out.
Yeah. So I'm trying to expand my sound because I mostly just like to go and play as fast as I can, and that doesn't work out too hot.
It happens. I noticed like with a lot of my streams, the first song I usually fall face flat on, mainly because my fingers aren't too warmed up or everything like that. But usually towards the end, that's where I kind of start getting the hang of everything again. I'm like, yeah, I got this.
Oh man, yeah.
The fake. He says
Fake Blake says, "What is his handle?" Oh, but he says he's also following you. So there you go. All right, bam, Fake Blake, you got a follower. Fake, listen. When do you typically play? You said you just started to schedule yourself.
Yeah, I just started a schedule. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that's I start at 5 o'clock, and usually I'll do that for at least an hour.
Mm-hmm. Nice. It's 5 o'clock, like West Coast, yeah. Us East Coasters and our daylight savings. Yes.
Arizona does not have daylight savings. No, sir.
The schedule on there, I think, says that it's supposed to update it to the local time that you're at or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then that's good. Okay. I have... So yeah, jump on and watch. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, when I catch your shows later in the evening, like if I'm driving, especially, like I just put it on, and then I'm like, I can try to participate in chat here at this stoplight. There are no police. Fascist state. and then I'm rolling off again. So yeah, check out InnerDeviant's channel. Welcome to the show. We were gonna chat about Navajo Nation, but before we jumped into that, did you have any more on DMV and Prince Philip?
DMV? Who's
DMV. I got a new motorcycle to register. Actually, I'll tell you. Can I tell a story?
Yeah,
Can I tell a quick story? So my wife got me good. My wife got me really good. Because I thought I had her really good. She's tactically supreme. So I've been deciding I need to upgrade my motorcycle. I've been riding for about 3 years on this old like 82 Kawasaki 440. It's this old shit Japanese. It's actually not a shit bike. It's been fine, but it was time for me to upgrade. And whoops, I snapped the throttle cable while getting it ready for the season. And so I tell my wife, I'm like, yeah, I can replace it, but it's I don't want this to be dangerous to ride. So I should upgrade.
The question is, is this coming from GameStop?
This is not. Apes together strong. We're gonna get it, boys. So I said I'd like to get the bike. I found one on Facebook Marketplace. It was a quick deal, pretty much right what I was looking for. Right in budget, and so jumped out, picked it up, and we're at dinner before we go get the bike, and my wife's like, we're just chatting, we're having our burger, and she's like, hey, I'd like to take us all to California. and you look up and you sit there and you think, shit, $400 a pop. And you go, oh no. But then you have to look up and smile and say, tell me more. I would love that. She's got her vacation, and I have to be happy about it because you got a new motorcycle.
Okay, so you could always try to.
What's up, Chef? Hey, boys.
Mr. Chef. Sorry, that's what I was saying is at least you have Quids. You can pop in, be like, honey, I'm gonna go out. Quids can show you around. Hit up Systematic. Hey, Systematic.
I figured out Systematic's horn design. I've got it covered because I've been being asked about these $2 horns, and I think I have to get that done. Which actually, that's part of the Power 5 tonight for you, InnerDeviant. You're gonna have. I hope you've been studying your website design for wholesale long steer. Longhorn steer people. Anyway, I lost words there.
All of them.
Go ahead.
So, Prince Philip, I was just like, why was he never king? Which came to the next question is, who was the damn last king?
Who was the last king? That was King James?
No.
King James Bible? I think his name's King James Bible.
George the Sixth.
King George.
Georgie. Died, last king died in 1952. So, I should really Google why we never had another king. Why he was never transformed to a king. So are the princes...
Like, what were the actual politics in play? Yeah. I'd be curious. I should probably look into that because I'm interested in like English monarchy, but like the older monarchy. Once it starts hitting like colonial era, I go, they basically took advantage of everybody. They were awful. So I kind of did stop studying.
And they created their own destruction.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, the seeds of your own downfall are planted by your own hand. So saith the Lord.
And then my last real question, InnerDeviant. Now that DMX has passed, who the hell is gonna give it to me?
Good question.
Yeah.
Very good question.
Yeah. Like, who the fuck is gonna do it?
Is there any other rap, R&B, soul artist, reggaeton, I don't know who has the name X? Because they just inherited a solemn duty.
Miss Ginger's in the
second, I
house
think
tonight.
will be that.
Oh man, Ginger Bush. Hey, honey.
She wants to know all about Navajo Nation.
Navajo Nation. The Navajo Nation is a great. I will have to shoot her a text here really fast. But let's start off with Navajo Nation.
Did you not have the your news, sir?
No, I'm just gotta send her a little info.
Okay.
So Navajo Nation. Oh, did I news? Oh, well, I'll tell you what. We're about 11 minutes in, and I definitely want to chat more about the topic. But so yeah, Navajo Nation. Mr. InnerDeviant, we've chatted before, and you were, did you grow up in Navajo Nation?
Yeah, I grew up in on the Navajo Nation since I was a kid. So I got out of there. I think it was when I was 18, but then I've been back and forth. But I still pretty much have my roots there. I go back every so often.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had friends. I lived in Arizona once upon a time. I lived in downtown Phoenix. I lived in the fucking streets, man. I lived in the avenues. The avenues are not bad. Street is where the fucking shit goes down. I've seen some shit. And I did. I had one of my really good friends out there. His name was Eric, and he was part of Navajo Nation. And he was an interesting cat, to say the least. But I never actually, we would go to the casinos over there. But that's like the only place you can go and gamble is on the reservation. Correct?
Yeah, they have some casinos set up with some of the different tribes in that area. I know there's one in a few in Phoenix, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
and they have another one, the Cliff Castle, which is a little ways out of Phoenix. And recently, the Navajo Nation opened up their own, which was I forget the name of it. Was it Twin Arrows? I think it was Twin Arrows. But,
Now,
I remember.
I'm sorry. Reservation though, like living on the reservation, it's complete. You guys have your complete own laws within the state law, correct? Like,
Yeah, like for example, right? If one of the things is it's dry, the entire area is dry, right? So you can't have alcohol on the Navajo Nation. And even with people going through the Navajo Nation, there have been instances where like tourists were going through the Navajo Nation and they had like a ton of beer on them, and they got slapped with distribution.
Oh dang, that's good to see. I had no idea that was the case. I would have driven out to Navajo Nation, but like, hey, I got a 6-pack and it's a hot day. Who's around? So good to know. Okay, so I've already learned something. This show is how to avoid a fight in Navajo Nation. This is good.
What's the look on like cannabis?
Well, there I'm not too sure about how what's going on with cannabis. I think it's still illegal.
Mm-hmm.
The Navajo Nation, like as far as like laws go, one of the treaties that was signed between the U.S. and Navajo Nation pretty much states that the Navajo Nation is independent yet dependent nation of the United States. So we kind of have some of, to an extent, we do have like some laws that we can't have to ourselves, but for the majority part, like anything like let's say there's a murder or something, that falls under federal. So that's where the FBI comes in and everything, and they're the ones that handle all that.
What about?
Oh dang. Okay.
So do you have your own police? Can like you know? So like I'm not sure. You said you were down in Tucson, right? So like the Tucson County Police can't come into the nation without what full-on warrants? Do they actually need to have paperwork, or like that's beyond their jurisdiction? They need to go straight federal to even like approach going on to the reservation.
Yeah, I don't think that they would have jurisdiction in the area, but they do have like what do you call it, DPS or the highway patrol people.
CHP, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's California Highway Patrol, but same difference. DPS, yeah.
Okay. They usually go through there and they have jurisdiction because they have 89 and different highways that go through there, and we usually see them going through there every so often. But as far as them going off the road into somebody else's house, I don't think that's really what they can do.
Okay.
So like how as far as like being if you live there, that sort of that jurisdiction system, like how well does that work, do you think? I'm kind of curious what that just feels like living there. Is it does it create problems for residents at all, or do you think that it actually helps them like handle things really well?
It creates some problems. Then again, there are some benefits to it. Like for example, there was an individual that I knew who, okay, when you go onto the Navajo Nation, there's been this land dispute going on between Navajos and Hopis, right? This is for Western Agency. It's like
Mhm.
split up into different agencies. So Western Agency had a land dispute between Hopis and Navajos, and so um, one section with the whole land dispute going on, they came to an agreement where they're pretty much saying that okay, you can't build any permanent structures within these areas. So within certain areas, all you're going to see is nothing but mobile homes and kind of like mobile buildings. And that's the reason for it is because like if the boundaries are redrawn, then people have to be moved out of there, so they can't really build anything permanent. And one of the individuals who bought one of these mobile homes didn't really pay on their mobile home. So what happened was they had to wait until they got the clearance and the paperwork done to go in and repossess the mobile home. Now, this guy, on the other hand, gets his mobile home, moves it over across this wash, which is really bad at a certain time of year. So when they finally got the paperwork done, they had the trucks and everything pull up there. The wash was going and everything. They couldn't even make it across the wash because the road was so bad. And they just said eventually.
Is it like a seasonal flooding or something or?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fucking great. Oh
So I
no.
guess the guy got away with it.
Oh no.
One of the coolest
Clever
things,
gal.
one of the coolest things I really did enjoy about Arizona, it's like late June, August area, and that's when you get like the monsoons, and they just get flash fucking rains out of nowhere. There's a shit ton of fucking flash floods, like out of nowhere. You'll see cars. I've heard about cars like down in like tunnels getting trapped in, people drowning because like this flash flood just almost like tidal waved all these cars into a fucking tunnel.
Damn, that's fucking crazy. So you got to deal with that. Okay. People stealing trailers and be like, haha, the waters are high. You're never getting it back now. That's amazing. So yeah.
On the other hand, too, that creates some problems with. Let's say, for instance, there's an area in some of the places that I grew up at, where you have like these different franchises that come in, and with a lot of these different franchises, they have to have ownership of the lot that they're in, right? So if the business doesn't really go well and they end up sinking, then literally you have a lot in that area which is not doesn't really belong to the Navajo Nation and doesn't really belong to the other person because it's trust land, right? So it belongs to the federal government. So there, you literally have a plot of land which nobody can do anything in because it's just covered up in red tape at that point.
Yeah, you got like such a complicated web of like property law just wrapped around that from like like federal, local, and state. Like that's nuts.
The even funnier part about it is like if you're looking at it from a legal standpoint, let's say that somebody commits a crime, they can literally jump on one of these lots, and technically the Navajo Nation can't pick them up from these areas.
It's functionally fucking maritime law. It's Chronicles of Riddick out there. What the fuck? You keep what you kill.
But so there's that aspect of it, but I don't think technically if somebody got caught in one of these areas, I'm pretty sure the Navajo police would just go in there and arrest them. But if they challenged it in court, they could bring that argument up, stating that that wasn't technically a part of the Navajo Nation, so thereby, it's like, so you can go challenge it from that standpoint, I guess.
Things I learned from the show today: if you put DMX's body in this spot, he won't be legally dead anymore.
How we figuring out the loophole? We can bring him back.
This is how you bring him back. And then remember, if you can bring him back, you can keep what you kill. Jesus Christ. So you grew up. You've since moved away from what were you like? So I don't know quite how it's structured out there. Can you give me like an overhead layout of like what Navajo Nation is? To my knowledge, there's 4 mountains specifically that's kind of tied to like the corner points of the territory.
Oh yeah. I guess more of like I guess tradition, or it's more of like a boundary marker.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, you have some of the more traditional people refer to them as like four sacred mountains, and within that area, that's what they kind of considered what's their territory,
Mm-hmm.
or what we consider as our territory, and luckily for us, after we a lot of us were herded to Fort Sumner, we were granted access back to that area, mainly because it was deemed a wasteland. And like you were saying the other day, they found uranium there later on, and they're kind of like, "Hey, we forgot something. Oh, there's coal also."
Yeah. So that's when you. So you're me, and you're sitting here like, well, growing up in Maine, I believe it or not, our interactions with the Dene are very infrequent. You grow up out here. So I'm sitting here like, hey, I'll check a couple quick things, kind of like some ideas together, what we could talk about, and so I you go to YouTube, okay? This is
how I got all my classes.
You go to Wikipedia, you go to YouTube, and you start kind of looking and saying, okay, I should probably dig in here. And but like the first thing that pops up on YouTube is like, here's how the United States government destroyed the Navajo Nation using uranium, and you're like, oh,
Go on.
oh, so you have to watch that like that was recent. That was not long ago.
Well, growing up on the Navajo Nation, you can't really like point the finger and say it's all one person's fault, because there's a lot of politics involved in it.
It seems like it.
Yeah, with the leaders that we ourselves have elected, a lot of the previous ones, it seems, were pretty corrupt and were kind of in it for only themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, several years ago, there was I'm not sure exactly how to say. There was a grant that was given to the Navajo Nation, and they agreed to it on the condition that it was used for cleanup of these different uranium sites, which wasn't even enough to clean up these areas where they were strip mining for uranium. And they went ahead and agreed with it, mainly because they're going to be getting some cash out of it.
Oh my God!
Good.
So they're getting
evening,
kickbacks.
Winstoney.
What's up, Winstony? Welcome to the show. We're learning about Navajo Nation tonight. So this is crazy. They are basically taking kickbacks. All right, that sucks. Is it getting better? Is the problem getting better?
It seems like it's gotten better. Our recent president seems like he's a lot more competent than the last couple that we've had.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good news, man. Yeah, it was just like literally I was like, I wanted like a history of the Navajo peoples, and I wanted to kind of learn more about where things were before essentially before the West came, so to speak. But before the whites came,
Before the white
I want to know about the before times, and so I was like, I kind of want to go from that to modern day, and there's so much history. Oh my God, there's a lot. I was like, where do I even start?
Yeah. I think of another really good story with that one. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of history there. I recently did a study of some of my ancestors that lived in the area, and just based off of like word of mouth stories that were being passed down. And after doing some research and doing the math to it, it sounds like there were some people that were saying the stories aren't really true. Some people saying the stories aren't true, but then based off of like the time era, what was going on at the time, different things that were happening in the stories, all of it matches up. It's like, yeah, that's the crazy part too. Is like you don't really think like you think like slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you always think like southern states in the U.S., right?
No,
there actually used to be slavery here.
There was not even just with the Navajo or any other Indian American tribe or native tribe. The Hispanics, I'm whitewashed as hell, but I grew up with a very Hispanic background, and my grandma would tell me how my great grandfather crossed the Rio, and they settled in New Mexico, and from there I'm like a third generation after my grandma was born in California. My grandma, my mother, and so I'm like third generation Californian, but very Mexican tradition. And she would tell me stories about like out there, it's basically the railroads, in some aspects were slave driven and very low paid, maintenance work to get on the train. And, how chili came around is because they would be out there with rotted meat, and they would just throw bell peppers hot peppers in the rotted meat while they're cooking it to not taste the taste of rotted meat.
Taco Bell. And that's right now when you go, yeah, shit. Oh shit, what was I gonna say? See, I come over. I'm an Irishman adopted by the French. I mean, what the fuck can I say? 1910. Probably worked in paper mills and the shipyards. That's pretty much what happened. Took a little while, but did okay.
Came up in the world a little bit.
Yeah, it's oh man. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's another interesting about there because prior to like the U.S. coming in, Navajos didn't really have last names, right? So you have John Smith, and you got the first name John Smith. It's kind of like tells you what family you're coming from and establishes who you're related to. Navajos, on the other hand, had a clan system, right? You get 2 clans from your mother and father, right? You get one from your mother, one from your father. You get another one from your grandmother, and you get another one from your grandparents on both sides of the family, right?
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah.
So with those, you have an idea of exactly who you're related to, who you're closely related to, like by blood. And so you'll be going around to the Navajo Nation, and you'll be finding relatives left and right, and go, "What's your clan?" "You're my brother."
Hey man, how's it going? No, that's fascinating. I'd have a hard time like remembering all of that.
No, actually, that's kind of how I feel about like my side of the family. Like, I know my 3rd and 4th fucking cousins, my 5th cousins. Like.
Well, Robert Montes Crez Naves. And you're like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I call you Chaz?
Yeah, you can call me Chaz.
I'm too white.
So, Art, were you? How in depth were you in the spiritual aspect of Navajo Nation? Is that still like a really thing? Do you still? I like. First of all, I like mythoses, but I also think religion is, or not religion, but the study of, I guess, religions or interesting, or spirituality. I guess I love listening about like
kind of like a what role does like what spirituality out there now? Do you
guys still celebrate the old ways? Is there still people that you have your shamans out there, or your what do you even call them? Your religious leaders? Not really, you know what I'm saying? Like we have priests, and I just don't know how to phrase this question.
Yeah, there are some people that, well, it's that part gets a little weird. So kind of like with Europe, right? You had the Catholic Church and whatnot, right? And then you have some kind of changes to it, and you get the Protestants, right? And you get like you have divorces with the Protestants and whatnot. Something similar. With the Navajo Nation, you had initially you had like from what I recall from a lot of the older people, you had like the traditional Navajos, and then a bit later you had this thing that came in, which was referred to as Native American Church, and that's where you get like people that do like the whole thing with the peyote and whatnot like that. And but with the actual traditional teachings, they used to pretty much tell them you don't mess with peyote, you don't do this stuff, you don't do that stuff, and completely different. Different ideologies. There's some similarities, but that portion of it was completely different. Native American Church that came in, that was something that came in, I think, around the 70s.
When
so would you say like the peyote movement then became more of a?
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like a Seeds of the 60s sort
of
thing.
It does. It almost sounds like, hey, we discovered about hallucinogens and mind control. Let's tell them that let's try some peyote and go on a spiritual walk. I mean, I've eaten. I mean, I may or may not have eaten mushrooms in my day. Peyote is like one of those things.
Allegedly.
I have allegedly almost thought about trying. And I love.
I have raised his hand.
To me, it's a. poisoning yourself in that aspect is almost you're reaching out. It's a very interesting spiritual walk. I always thought I've heard crazy stories. I've also seen Beavis and Butthead do America, and that fucking peyote trip looked like a fucking trip.
I've heard a couple stories from a couple guys, older guys that I really trust that did that in the 70s. I don't know if it was tied to the church, so to speak, but I do know some guys who have talked openly about it, like just at over a couple beers at a company party. But speaking of talking about things over a couple of beers at a company party, guess what time it is?
Company party time.
Woo, woo, woo. It's your Power 5. So you are familiar with the rules. You've been watching the show for a while.
Yeah.
You're definitely getting a Power 5, and so what was fun is I had a harder time putting this one together because I was like, man, I want to ask more relevant questions on this one. Like, this is a cool topic, and then I'm like, but I need my fart jokes. Like, how am I gonna make this work? So that being said, I have your questions ready. It took some. My wife even helped me on some of this. Like, I read it. She's like, that's not gonna offend him, is it? I said, I really hope not.
And this is her, like, this is why she's watching tonight. She's like, she's like, God damn it.
And I believe it. There's very little that offends me.
Oh man, no, that's fantastic. I was gonna say if anyone's watched this show for a while, like I think that they get it. But that being said, I had some fun making this. So are you ready for your Power 5?
Time.
Yeah,
That's my father coming out of me.
we're from a different time, clearly. All right, and we're ready. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question 1. The Crazy Crow Trading Post was started in 1970 and trades in jewels, beads, cattle horns, furs, and cultural Native American goods. The owner is a Texan couple by the name of Tex and Ginger Riddick. In what other prominent ways do you see the cultural appropriations of Native Americans at work?
I would have to say that they're benefiting off of it.
Exactly. They absolutely are. What are some other examples? 20 seconds.
Let's see. Restaurants with Native American themes on it. People wearing Native American costumes.
The Kansas City Chiefs, you cunts. And time. Correct. Next question. All right. Question number 2. Some Native American cultures would navigate through spirit journeys with the aid of a hallucinogenic cactus. What would a spirit journey look like if you used MDMA and a small but potent bag of crack cocaine?
That's a good fucking question.
I don't think you would remember it.
I mean, are you rocking the crack yourself, or are you buying it, like, off the street?
I don't know how drugs work, so can you lace MDMA with crack? I have no idea. Do you smoke MDMA? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yes,
I told my wife the other day we're
yes.
listening to Daft Punk, and I'm like, oh man, I would have loved to go to a Daft Punk show and do ecstasy one day. That'd be amazing. And time. All right. Next question. The Navajo Wind Talkers famously used the Navajo language as an unbreakable code during World War II. During this time, the use of Navajo language was actually illegalized by the U.S. government. Knowing that this group of men broke the law, what would be your sentencing recommendation should you preside over their case as a judge?
Hang the bastards. I'm just saying.
Oh my god!
Just saying. Don't illegal something and then say all of a sudden it's okay to fucking do it. I have a problem with people like that.
Drop the charges, give him $1 million each.
Time served, and the government owes restitution of $1 million. Good day to you both. Correct. Next question. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the four holy mountains of the Navajo are Mount Blanca, Mount Taylor, Mount Hesperia, and San Francisco Peak. You may pick any mountain from around the world. Which of the current mountains would you replace with it?
I don't think I would replace any of the mountains with it.
What the fuck kind of question is that? He says. What? Well, what if you could? Thor could do it.
Could he?
We read a whole story about how.
I think if I were to replace one of them, it'd have to be something very monumental, like the world's tallest mountain. Or let's drop Mount Everest over here and let's see what other...
You actually add Mount Everest altitude to the altitude where you are, and it kills everybody in the area. So good job. That was the incorrect answer. Next question.
You're the first person to ever get one wrong.
Oh man. Okay.
Make a horrible geologist for this.
Sort of. I was thinking about.
We didn't run the numbers yet, okay? Oh man. Next question. Speaking of histories, all right. Chief Narbona. Correct me if I am wrong on the name. I do not have the pronunciation down. Narbona of the Navajo was infamously killed by U.S. military forces under the command of Colonel John Washington on August 31st, 1849. What are some other mistakes white people made during this period of history? You have 30 seconds. Go.
Feel free.
Let's see.
Pull up the list.
Walking into ambushes. That was one of the main tactics that were being used at that time. The U.S. Army would walk into ambushes quite a bit.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Okay, so that's one. Check. Any others? We're taking down the grievances. This is a Festivus. Time. 30 seconds. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, you guys certainly ambushed a lot, so that wasn't very cool. Oh my God.
That's okay.
Next question.
There's no real, there's no rules in fights.
Next question. Question number 7.
But go ahead.
What?
On the bright side, we're one of the first to be granted a level of citizenship with the U.S. as a result of our retaliation.
Okay, you guys earned it. Here you go. Here's the papers.
Stop fucking.
Just stop.
Stop jumping us.
Please stop.
Stop jumping us.
Oh my God. This is my favorite episode so far. This is so much fun. Next question. Selenium reacts with chlorine and bromine to form diselenium dichloride, right?
Uh-huh.
That's correct. Next question.
I'm taking chemistry and I was like thinking in my head, I was like, okay, alright, so it's like, yeah.
They've got the right valence electron counts. The math checks out. All right, next question. What is something you wish more people knew about Navajo culture or history?
I would say more of the current politics at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like. I mean, that's so you still got 27 seconds. Tell us more.
Yeah, a lot more about the current politics and policies that are going on now. Okay, for instance, I was at school one time, and this guy thought that we were getting kickbacks from the casino, saying that, oh yeah, I heard you guys are getting $1,000 or $5,000 a week from the casino. And I was looking at him like, where do I sign up for this?
Yeah, it's 1990s, and like we're all wearing Skechers. Like bro, this ain't Reebok, man. I'm not getting $5,000 a fucking week. Yeah, that'd be fucking amazing though. Jesus Christ. All right.
Amazing.
Next question. Question number 9. Same question as above, but you need to do your best Scottish "Are you ready for a war?" accent.
Are you ready for a war?
Now you can answer the question again, but you have to use that accent. We'll give him this one. He's like, please no. And time. Last question. And again, forgive my phrasing. The Kanalka is a ceremony, a spiritual ceremony that's apparently conducted for young women. It's like a coming of age, like a bar mitzvah kind of, or bat mitzvah
bat
sort of deal.
mitzvah or a quinceañera. I had my quinceañera. I became a beautiful lady.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of similar to a quinceañera. But
dude, his Spanish is better than mine too. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I had a couple of family members that have done that, the Canalda.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's definitely a ceremony. It's like they do the running and everything.
So this celebrates your journey into womanhood, yes?
Yeah, apparently.
What was your Kanota like?
I never had one. I'm a guy.
So is being a native, your Native American father like a white father? When you become a man, he just gives you some fucking Vaseline and a fucking Playboy and goes, "That's the talk."
That's like, what, this is mostly sadness and loneliness? Yes, for the most part. Okay, good. We're prepared for life. And boom, you have completed your Power 5. Well done. That was a lot of fun. Yay! Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And now I have the horn figured out, I think. I think I got the horn for you.
Yeah?
Yep. So
It's gonna have uranium on it?
InnerDeviant's getting a horn, and Systematic's getting a horn, and they're both. I had to custom design this. I can't just send you guys a horn with a stamp on it. That ain't cool. That's just bad branding. Nah, man, you gotta do this shit right.
Come on, dude. I'm down to like do what all the other big companies do, outsource to fucking China.
Oh my god. You just buy a 3D printer. I'll 3D print the horn. No problem. So that being said, we are still on topic at the moment. I mean, I guess I'd want to point your way, InnerDeviant. Like where would you want to go as far as like chatting more about Navajo Nation just in general? You've been out of there for a while. Do you still have a lot of family there? Do you I don't know what your level of interaction is.
Oh man, I got a ton of family there. That's probably one of the reasons why I really don't show my face too much on the streams.
Yeah.
Mainly because I mean, I'm not kidding. Okay, put it this way: community I grew up in, a lot of those families originated from the area where my grandparents were originally from.
Mm-hmm.
So the community that I grew up in, I literally had cousins here, cousins there. Oh, no, that's my aunt. Oh, who's that? And my mother would be like, "Oh, yes, I know this person. He's related to this person," or something like that. Meet a new friend. You're like, "Yeah, who is it, son? That's it was like everybody seemed to be related." And I was like, which it's great because.
So why don't you tell them?
this-
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what you need to do is you get every single one, because I am not above family plugs. So go tell your family to fucking explain to them how to download fucking Twitch, and go follow me, and then you can start getting paid.
I definitely told a couple of people about the show, and I don't know if they showed up today. So hopefully he did. Just don't say my name.
You might have. We
I don't say it.
Yeah. I don't talk about this at work too much. Let me put it that way. Like, yeah, how's the show going? Went fine. I said something casually racist by accident. Don't let that
I
go
did
around
not
the
call
workplace.
anybody the C word.
Yeah, I didn't use the word cunt.
Three times this fucking episode.
Man.
So.
3 times? Have you said it 3 times?
3 times.
When else did I say it?
I can't repeat it.
Oh my god.
Remember, this is a family stream.
Oh shoot. You're right. So basically yeah, well, that's why so if you watch this show, we talk about not wanting to dox people. There's reasons, man. We got lives outside of the internet. Yeah, I know you're right, Chef. I'm sorry, buddy. I do my best, but I'm
Dude,
my
don't
eye goes
mess
off the
with
ball,
Chef.
buddy.
Chef is our MOD. He will put you in check.
He will slap me down. He'll be like, "No,
We
sir."
give him the authority to write tickets.
Oh shit, he can write tickets. So now it's kind of like the state, local, internet, room, federal interaction. It's very complicated.
Yeah, the funny aspect of that is, okay, so you got community, right? And you got a lot of people that are related to each other. Yeah, that's the part that sucks, because once you hit your teens, right? And I mean, you want to meet some chicks and whatnot like that, but no, you can't do that there, man.
No, they're all related to me.
I'm not kidding. Like, I never dated anybody within my local communities in that area, mainly for that reason.
Going to prom, it's basically like a family reunion. You're like, come on, guys. I hope y'all are traveling.
You hear about somebody dating somebody in that area, and you're kind of like, hey, Alabama.
Softly, a banjo plays in the background. You're like, son of a bitch.
You're like, damn.
So that's it's funny, because I grew up in a really small rural town, and while I think the interrelation was nowhere near to that level, that was still a lot. You found a lot of cousins and second cousins. That's what you had. You had a lot of folks that had that were like third generation. And just like the Frenchmen, the third, fourth generation, you had a lot of French folks up here, and so there was a couple big families that sort of interspersed, and so there's a lot of interrelatedness out here too. I know what that's like oh yeah, she's your second cousin now.
You know, the lucky thing for you, sir,
Mm-hmm.
that is true, and the following thing is, you know, name and cousin and following is important. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if it accidentally happened to you, it is fine because you're adopted.
This is true. This is true. Yeah, well, you know, it'd be really crazy if you got on 23andMe and then I found out that I was actually your cousin somehow.
That
like my dad was an adventurous dude.
That would have been really interesting because we would be.
Because then my wife would be my
no, because I'm adopted. On that side, my dad.
Oh, that's right. Hey, there we go.
It would have been fine.
All right.
But it would still have been weird.
That would still be dude,
not as weird as some other people that we know. And again, we don't dox people.
We need to get you some 23andMe. That's what we got to do. I gotta say that was a life changer.
The thing is, I do have cousins out here.
Oh, I bet you do.
I have
on the Smith side.
No, not even on that. Like, first of all, that's the adopted side.
Yeah, but. Sorry, you mean biological cousins.
So
okay,
the 23andMe, none of that will pop up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that would pop up because it goes by your genetic match.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
The Smith side is not my that's my adopted side.
Yeah, it's your adopted. I'm not talking. I wasn't talking genetically at first. I'm just talking by name.
I'm saying the DNA match won't match up because that's my adopted side.
Oh! I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody.
But I have reached out when I first moved out here just to try to figure out my stuff, and through conversation with my real biological father, I found out that his family comes from Lewiston, Maine.
No way, that's crazy.
So that's what I'm saying. I would.
His family came from the dirty Lou.
Woo!
Back when it was paper mill country.
I don't know if I could date anybody up there or.
Nah, I think you're probably good.
You're good?
I think you're pretty good.
They're all been breeded out.
If you can speak 2 words in Spanish, you're probably fine. There's enough separation there. You'll walk up to him and be like, "Hola," they'll say "Buongiorno." They don't know.
They don't know.
But yeah, no. So I guess my thought is I want to know. We got a few minutes left to chat about
what love is.
About the topic. Like, what's sort of the future with the Navajo Nation looking like? Like, where do you think things are gonna go? You know, again, you know, don't want to dox you or have you say anything that you don't feel comfortable with. But is that something that you want to speculate on at all?
And also on that. No, go ahead. I'll ask afterwards. I have a election.
So like as far as like infrastructure goes, I believe Eastern Agency is probably going to get a lot more upgrades. Western Agency isn't, mainly because our capital is located in Eastern Agency, and a lot of the elected officials in the higher positions come from Eastern Agency, so they're constantly pumping money into these different areas in Eastern Agency, while all the other agencies kind of get the crumbs, I guess you could say. The other part of it is that there might that in itself might change, because there are a lot more individuals who are being like Navajos who are going through higher education and actually going back to the Navajo Nation, and I believe that they're the ones that are probably going to end up replacing the individuals who have a death grip on those positions. And these individuals that have death grips on those positions, kind of like Congress, I guess you could say, corrupt as hell. And somebody else comes in, and the one thing that they always tell them is they're overqualified for this position. So they try to drive out everybody else who is a threat to their job or their position.
So do you guys... You have your own election. Do you vote in those different officials? Are you involved with our election at all? Do you guys get to vote for our president?
Yeah, they have citizenship. So
okay.
Yeah.
So usually we have our elections. I think it was around the same time, and they'll have the polls set up, and you go into one section, you vote for Navajo Nation. and you go walk over to the next section, and you vote for state and federal.
Now, would you like to see someone from the Native American? It doesn't. I mean, I Navajo Nation, since we're talking about it, but I don't want to be biased and throw it out there. Would you like to see a Native American in Congress have a seat? Do you think Navajo Nation should be, brought in more so?
I wonder why they
put it this way. Every time that I'm not the only one. I know my family isn't the only one. I've seen this with a lot of other Navajo families. Every time somebody sees a Navajo like these different higher positions and these different professions, we're always like, "Oh my God, there's a Navajo! This is Navajo! Yeah, we got Navajo in this position! Yeah!" Everybody's celebrating, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
So,
I bet
definitely, I'd be happy to see a lot more Navajos in these different positions.
I have a friend who's like Southeast Indian, like Pakistan, Indian, and he was very happy when Kamala Harris was elected, because he was just like, it's just someone, it's just someone who shares the same heritage I do. He's like, that's really meaningful. I get it. You know what? We've had too many Irishmen in power already.
I mean,
and the French tend to muck around with that as well.
Damn, they're mucking around.
The French.
Do you think that we would ever see a Native American in our Congress?
You know what?
I know one was appointed. There was a Navajo lady that was appointed to. I forget what position it was. This was not too long ago. I forget her name. But I believe, who was it that appointed her? Let me look it up real fast if I can find it.
Yeah. You look it up. Well, because I'm wondering, like, it'd be really great to have like Navajo presence on infrastructure, on federal infrastructure committees, because I mean, running water's, to my knowledge, still a huge problem out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to drill like 500 meters down.
Okay,
to get under the uranium. It's ridiculous.
Well, not even on top of that, like most of I mean, I don't want to yell it out, but most of Arizona is desert, and when I lived out there, first of all, they have really no drinking water. I don't know where
dude,
you're
it's
at,
fucking brutal out there.
Drinking water. Young Blinks went out to the bar one night and got wasted and came home, and I passed out, and I had one of those dreams that I was so thirsty I needed. I'm drinking water in my dreams, and I cannot just quench my thirst. And I woke up and I'm so dehydrated. I went to the sink to drink the water, and I couldn't drink it. Couldn't drink the water, fucking tap water. Like, I thank God I live out here in Maine, right? But tap water, I'll drink the tap water. I don't even think twice to drink the tap water out here.
There's some places that are treated, but for the most part, unless you're outside of like really urban centers, it's all well water.
Yeah.
And you take it for fucking granted. Like they had a news report. One of the things I watched was a news report about a lady who's a bus driver, but also does like a daily water deliveries, like these big, huge water tanker deliveries out. I don't remember where it was.
Chicago.
I meant to write it down, and I forgot to do it. I was like, shit, she sounds like a cool lady.
So, another
as far as
on another level of like things that I like to know about is, well, who is the most known Navajo serial killer? Do you guys have a serial killer?
Going dark. Yes.
Not that I know of.
That means they're good. They're real good.
There's a couple of locals. I forget their name also. That have some Navajos that have committed some crimes in that area, which were pretty heinous. But aside from that, as far as serial killers go, I don't think I'm too familiar with any of them.
You guys playing?
We are tiptoeing a dangerous line.
Yeah. Honestly, come to think of it, I really don't know any famous Navajo serial killers.
I swear to Christ, if in 4 years it comes out on the news that you're a goddamn serial killer this whole time, and we're like, oh shit, we platformed him. Son of a gun. He was really good though. He was really good. He was the nicest guy. You wouldn't have guessed. Oh
I
man.
think that's like the MO of a lot of serial killers. He was the nicest guy.
Yeah, he was nice. He was a little quiet.
I never expected it.
Sometimes he had a weird look in his eye.
Real reason why he didn't put his face on camera.
Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of that, I was my girlfriend and I were talking the other day, and we're saying, all right, so you watch on the movies, right? And it's like Dexter and whatnot like that, and they got the serial killer looking around like that's not the one, that's the one, right? And we're like, what do you think they mean by that's the one? Do you think it's kind of like remember like you go out and you meet somebody and they're kind of like there's just something about that person you don't really like, so you're not
You just
really,
kind of fucking kill him.
Yeah, they just kind of throw you off a little bit, like something unsettling.
I really don't like this person. I don't know why, but I just don't really like this person. I was like, what if it was the same thing as that, but with serial killers, it's like amplified 100% or something like that. They're like, I want to kill this person or some crazy shit.
Dude, I've watched a lot of different, serial killer documentaries. I find it a very interesting subject, because it is. It's a lot of the, he was such a nice guy. He lived such a normal life. You would never thought that he, would have turned out to be this weird guy. And then there's also the weird guys. You're like, yeah, I saw that coming.
He always had that weird looking hair.
But, yeah, a lot of them live a fucking normal fucking life. Like,
so we started Navajo Nation. We're ending on serial killers. And what's your favorite serial killer? Go.
Who's my favorite serial killer? I don't know.
No, what? Because they're animals.
I mean, also, okay, I got a question. You reminded me. So, when you go to a zoo, do you think the animals ever look at you and go, man, they're stuck in this cage?
Nope. I don't see them capable of that kind of critical thought.
No?
I think in order to do that, they'd have to have self-reflection first. They'd have to be able to evaluate themselves and their situation. And in order to relate it to an outside situation. And also, they shit in a box.
I agree with Fattie on this one, mainly because I remember taking this in psychology. They don't have that part of the brain that has developed yet.
Yeah, no neocortex, yeah?
Yep.
Yep. So, these fucking stupid animals. Us apes, strong. Invest in GameStop, everybody. This is not financial advice.
Oh yeah, jumping back to what you were saying about the whole water situation, that actually is true. Like for myself, where I grew up at, we had running water, and like you said, yeah, that also was well water. But my grandmother, and I'm saying this mainly because this is like true for almost every other native out there. My grandmother did not have running water, right? And you would hear stories from my parents like, "You guys are so lucky you have electricity and running water. We didn't have anything." And like for instance, right, both my mother and father, they grew up in areas where it was dirt floor, no running water, no electricity, nomadic lifestyle. That's how they grew up. And we would go out to my grandmother's house when we were kids, and there would be no running water, no electricity or anything like that. So we were familiar with that aspect. And if we wanted to get water, we would have to haul it in from the town, or we had to haul it in from the dam, which was several miles away. And when you look at it like that, you're kind of like, man. So what my parents were telling me was every time that they had to get water to cook with or water to clean up, it wasn't like tap water either, which was like cleaner thing. They'd have to go over to one of the areas where there was like a reservoir or something, get a couple buckets, haul it all the way back to their house, and that'd be their water for the day.
What water access is the number one factor in the ability of anybody, like an individual or group, to actually build anything. I mean, if I want to go outside and build something, I could go stop at a gas station, 5 minutes away and grab, 2-3 gallon jugs of water and go work in the summer. But you're in fucking Arizona and there's no fucking water. This adds a task list. like that's rough, man.
And if you build your town too close, you if a river overflows during one of the monsoons that come out there, you're fucked. You got to find the happy medium.
Yeah, so then you come back and some bastard sitting across the water with your trailer going, ha. And you're like, I just had to leave for water. And that brings us to what have we learned today? What do we get out of today? Today was fun.
I'm going to build a mobile home on a raft.
A mobile, nice maritime law. Yeah, I learned that if you bring DMX's dead body there, yeah, he comes back to life. I still think that's my favorite one right there. Mr. InnerDeviant, how about you? What'd you get out of today?
Twice the Fattie is an awesome show.
Yes, and actually, before we end, one more shot really quick, guys. InnerDeviant has a channel. You are an excellent musician. You need to go listen to him, subscribe, and check him out because it's a lot of fun. And yeah, man, we're gonna be in touch again here on the old Discord. I'll have to get a horn out to you. Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. Always open when we decide to do a bar episode. You're always welcome to walk in. Have a seat, grab a
One day when we own a bar in the southern Midwest.
So do you live on the reservation now, or you can?
No.
So you can walk in and have a beer because we don't want you to get a ticket and fined.
We'll drive you back. We'll hide you in the trunk. We'll smuggle you in.
I am a coyote.
Awesome, man. Well, hey guys, that was a great show. Thanks to the viewers today. You guys are great as always. We like having y'all around, and we will catch you soon. Are we gonna do some after show tonight? What do you guys think?
We can hang out. I played the.
Oh yeah, definitely after show. I like the after show.
Yeah. There we go.
I fucked up again. I'm so used to hitting this button, then this button.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? No, I think.
Chef
I think I hit the right button. So
there we go. That's
do it.
Good.
So we're gonna wrap it so we can plug it and have an archive, and we'll be right back. Give us 2.
Yeah, give us a couple minutes. We're just porting this to YouTube, and we'll be back on. See you then.